If you've seen the 2012 movie or any movie related to Earth's destruction, then you must know how our planet could end. Of course, in every movie, we humans try to stop that disaster, and maybe some people even survive by the end of the movie. There are a lot of such news stories and even many YouTube videos you can find where they talk about the different ways our Earth could be destroyed, like because of Nibiru and Planet X, Mayan calendar, and many other ancient prophecies. The Great Flood, unstoppable fire, dharmic prophecies, volcanoes, tsunamis, and disasters coming from space. Some of these claims are made on a scientific basis, while some are completely different, which cannot be verified nor can they be predicted in advance. In today's modern era, we cannot live in illusions. For entertainment, we can at least imagine Nibiru and Planet X. Today, we know that the events of asteroids colliding with Earth are considered only as possibilities. So today, we won't think about possibilities and will look at something that no one can stop from happening, and what will be the final fate of humanity and this Earth. The extinction of humanity? Yes, this is not a prophecy. This is an inevitable event that cannot be stopped. We know that today we humans are about 7 to 8 billion in number on this earth, but it was not always like this. Our history is not that old. Modern humans have only been on this earth for about 3 to 400,000 years. But the great apes used to be here a few million years ago. And even before that, there were some species that evolved and became the great apes. This timeline of evolution can go back 50 to 60 million years in history. But if we go back in time, we might be shocked to see that humans gradually evolved from such creatures. Evolved. Of course, here we realize that evolution is a very slow process where we won't notice much on a single human time scale. But on a larger timescale of hundreds of thousands of years, evolution is inevitable. Evolution can't be stopped, as over the period of time, the conditions on our Earth kept changing. The pressure to survive on the species living here also kept changing in the same way. Whoever endured that pressure kept moving forward, and whoever couldn't endure it gave an opportunity for other species to move forward. And meanwhile, there were some random genetic mutations in living beings as well. Some mutations helped living beings adapt to that changing environment, and genes passed on those traits. They were passed on through generations, and that's how we are able to see the world as it is today. Mutations are still happening today and will continue to happen. Many dangerous diseases are caused by genetic mutations, and many times these things also turn out to be a boon for us. But if we talk about today, even millions of years into the future, surely we humans will still be here on Earth, but no one would have been able to stop evolution. We are talking about the future millions of years from now. Humans will definitely be there, but maybe not everyone will be human. Maybe some other species will be ruling this Earth, and there are more chances that it will be an advanced version of us humans. But even at that time, humans and other species will be facing the ultimate pressure of nature. Because of the planet's changing climate and limited resources, there will be no point in anything else due to other species and humans. Humans will become extinct from this world on a geological and astronomical timescale. If not today, then someday. Human existence will end, and that will be the first step towards the end of this world for us, which will begin with our own extinction. Apart from that, the humans who will be living on other planets or who have already migrated from Earth, they might never want to come back to this planet. Because what is going to happen next will be even more terrifying. The boiling of Earth's oceans. By the way, for the humans who have left Earth and gone somewhere else, will evolution leave them alone there? This is a question for you. Anyway, if we come back to Earth in today's time, it feels like we are lucky that our planet, our Earth, is still here. It is exactly the right size and mass where an atmosphere can exist. It is at just the right distance from the sun. Our planet is formed by the combination of such parameters where flowing water on the ground becomes the source for life to flourish. And if even one of these properties changes slightly, then all the equations of life here will completely change. The diversity and variety we see in life on Earth today would not exist at all. Billions of years ago, the Earth was completely covered by oceans. It's like an underwater world where first simple and then complex life began. Life appeared on land millions of years after this. But during this time, evolution only over the period of time. As the sun continues to convert its internal hydrogen into helium through nuclear fusion, the sun will become even hotter and will start to expand, and it will become even brighter. It will start releasing even more energy. About 1 to 2 billion years from now, the energy released by the sun will reach a critical point. That energy will be so intense that as soon as it hits Earth's oceans will start to boil. It will engulf everything in its path. The Earth's temperature will start to rise dangerously, and at that time, our planet will also become a hell-like Venus. Conditions on Earth will become inhospitable for life. Almost all species living on the surface will be wiped out, and only those organisms that can survive above the clouds will remain. And in this way, nature will decide the future direction of life on Earth. But humans have already been wiped out or have left the Earth. Even then, nature will become even more ruthless for the Earth. And the next phase will be even more dangerous. The barren rock, you must be thinking that the oceans boiling and turning into steam was already too much. But what do you think about this? That everything present on Earth will break apart and scatter, and even its atoms will leave this world. Everything that ever existed on this surface will turn into dust. Every trace of everything will be lost in the soil. The conditions here will become like those on the innermost planet of our solar system, Mercury. Something similar will happen to Earth in the next 5 to 7 billion years. When the hydrogen fuel in the core of the sun is completely exhausted, then the great destruction will begin. Its core will keep contracting and heating up due to helium and heavy metals, because of which the outer layers of the sun will start expanding. As soon as the sun expands, its outer layers will keep getting cooler. But on the contrary, the sun will become even more luminous as its core gets hotter and contracts even more. There, helium fusion will begin, and our sun will change from a main sequence star to a subgiant, and then from a subgiant to a full-fledged helium-burning red giant. And our Earth will also feel the pressure of its existence, but it won't be able to withstand that much pressure. Our sun will become about 100 times bigger than it is today, and its brightness will increase thousands of times compared to now. The Earth will be completely scorched, and it will slowly start moving away from its orbit. The nearby planets, Mercury and Venus, will have already been swallowed by the sun. However, this phase of burning helium will last for a very long time. From millions to billions of years, and eventually even the sun will run out of helium. And when that happens, its core will contract and become even hotter, and then there will be no additional fusion reactions. The sun will soon die. With a big explosion, its core will turn into a white dwarf, and its layers and outer surfaces will be blown away into space. This will create a planetary nebula. Even if the red giant doesn't swallow the Earth during this phase, there will still be no chance for Earth to survive. And if it does swallow it, the story will end right there. And if it doesn't, it will keep wandering like a graveyard in the solar system, orbiting a dim, small star. But even then, this is not the end of the story, swallowed and rejected. Now, whether humans disappeared from the Earth long ago, left it behind, or the Earth was no longer habitable, after that, the most precious thing left here, water, was attacked. Its seas dried up, they boiled and turned into steam. After this, everything turned to ash, and finally the Earth will keep wandering in this solar system like a graveyard for billions of years. Cosmic rays and quadrillions of years will keep raining down on the Earth, but even then, our Earth will continue to exist like a corpse around this cold, dead star in the darkness-filled space. This scene will continue until the collision. No object should collide with our Earth and destroy it or absorb it and erase its existence. This universe is truly a terrifying place where violent things keep happening, and maybe that's the law of the universe. Ejection means some object will pass close to our Earth and gravitationally throw Earth out of this solar system. And Earth will keep wandering like an uncontrolled planet in this infinite universe for eternity. Slow death means Earth will remain in this solar system where there will be neither sunlight nor warmth. It will orbit that dwarf star countless times, and in the end, after billions and trillions of years, it will merge into it. And the story of Earth will end like this, the planet we call Earth. If creation is a fact, then destruction is the ultimate fact. And here we are not making any speculation. We're not making a wild guess with our eyes closed. Rather, this is a conclusion drawn from our current scientific understanding and achievements. On a scale, the Earth's fate is authentic. Essentially, we are aware of the future of the Earth, but within the limits of our current knowledge of the near future within our hands, we can tailor agendas. Are we ourselves giving this scale? Reader of our choices, as in what we are doing, what we are becoming, how we are becoming, and what should we do? Science can also show us the future, but how to secure that future, how to live with freedom and self-respect. We will have to decide that so that we can live a good, better and longer life in this universe. So that we can represent ourselves for a long time. We exist on this Earth. This is our Earth, and the biggest fact is that till now, apart from this Earth, we haven't found life anywhere else in this solar system, nor on any other planet in this universe. And it's true that we don't know if we'll ever be able to find life anywhere else or not. Right now, we don't know why life started only on Earth. Billions of years ago, under very unique circumstances, life began on this Earth. If we talk about fossils, the oldest fossil we have found, this tells us that life on Earth began about 3.5 billion years ago. After that, time kept passing. The life that originated on Earth also evolved from single-celled to multicellular, and then, over time, its structure became more complex. Meanwhile, that life witnessed many stages on Earth, seeing the changing eras and the changing forms of the planet as well. Why living on Earth? That life experience too didn't just see this. Destruction. Huge tsunamis, waves, volcanoes erupting everywhere. Drought and sheets of ice stretching as far as the eye can see. Destruction and mass extinction. Life has gone through all these stages. Many species appeared and disappeared in these mass extinctions, but each time, some species survived. They brought life back on track again. But because of those mass extinctions, about 99% of the species that ever existed on Earth have become extinct. We should congratulate ourselves that we are also a part of that early life. But somehow, surviving through it all, we are still alive today. We are among that 1% who have faced every disaster of nature. And maybe we should thank the rats and the lizards, whose ancestors managed to save themselves during the last mass extinction. We're successful, and thanks to them we are here today, this mass extinct. The progress of life on Earth shows how life began to establish itself on this planet. These events completely closed the path of survival for some species while opening new paths for others. Till today, we have not been able to fully understand the Earth's message. In this video, we will try to understand it. The complete competition is still happening on the surface of the Earth. Wait, but at that time, only hard-shelled simple creatures like trilobites were ruling the seas. A fossil of a jawed fish from that time has also been found, and by the end of this period, plants and trees also started appearing on the surface of the earth. But all of this didn't last for very long. If we look at the structure of the earth at that time, it was a period when almost the entire surface of the earth was located towards the southern hemisphere. According to one hypothesis, ocean waves started to change, the climate changed, and the entire southern hemisphere was covered under a sheet of ice. As the ice kept increasing, species on Earth kept dying. They couldn't withstand this change in the environment and perished. At the same time, there were some species that adapted to those cold and dry conditions. But this was just the beginning of this extinction. Species evolved that were not suited to the cold environment but were made to live in this cold climate. But just as they were about to establish their dominance, the environment changed once again and all the ice across the hemisphere melted in no time. The earlier survivors died this time, some drowned in the water. The intense heat on the earth was so unbearable for some species that they too soon perished. And some couldn't endure this whole process at all. They couldn't handle the changes that kept coming one after another. And in this way, in this Ordovician extinction, about 85% of marine life present on Earth at that time was wiped out. However, at that time, the southern hemisphere suddenly became cold. How did that happen? After all, what were those forces that triggered this mass extinction? This is still a topic of debate today. Some theories suggest that it started with rock weathering, that is, the dissolving of rocks, acid rain, or perhaps due to volcanic eruptions. But the problem with proving all these things is that all these events happened about 443 million years ago. Since then, due to tectonic activity and the shifting of continents, all the evidence has been erased. The marine sediments we see today are not more than 50 million years old. But even from here, many marine creatures managed to survive. They did. And they got a long period in the future to thrive and flourish. After this, it came to Earth. Second mass extinction happened in the late Ordovician period, around 372 to 369 million years ago. As we know, in the Ordovician period, plants had appeared in their initial forms, and after that, in the Devonian period, those plants began to develop further. Plants on the surface of the earth started producing seeds so that they could continue their species. Because plants moved from water to land, they also started developing an internal vascular system to store water. However, until now, these plants had not yet encountered any land herbivorous animals, and this was the reason why their growth kept increasing continuously. It is believed that this explosive growth had significantly reduced the levels of carbon monoxide too in the atmosphere at that time. Because of this, a global cooling effect was observed. The beginning of extinction in the Livonian period started towards the end of this period, and this entire extinction event consisted of two main events, which wiped out the majority of the population on Earth, and it began about 372 million years ago. On Earth, the growth of plants and insects was happening very rapidly, but a large part of life still lived underwater in the oceans. But then changes started happening in the atmosphere, and by that time vertebrates had also appeared in the ocean, meaning creatures that have a backbone. But this event didn't really affect the vertebrates much, but it did impact the other non-vertebrate life in the ocean. During this time, they were on the verge of extinction and the coral reefs were completely wiped out. But this was just the beginning of this extinction. Right now, we don't have any solid information about how all this started. But here, different scientists definitely have different opinions. Some scientists believe that this great catastrophe began due to a lack of oxygen in the atmosphere. Now, there are some solid reasons behind believing this. During the Devonian period, there was a great development of plants, fungi, and various types of vegetation on the surface. At that time, there was no one in the food chain to eat them. So these plants that were 30 centimeters in height reached up to 30 meters. With the increase in their height, they developed a vascular system, complex branches to make more food, large trunks to store water, and the evolution of a root system also took place. These had spread to almost every place on Earth where the conditions were favorable for them. But suddenly, their growth reduced the nutrients in their river water. The creatures there weren't used to this, and they started suffocating and dying. Also, the decomposing bodies of the creatures that were dying were consuming oxygen as well. And this started a chain reaction that deeply affected almost all marine life. In addition, during this mass extinction, the sea level rose several times, which wiped out a large amount of biodiversity. Some scientists believe that geological cooling was a major reason behind this event. The growth of trees and plants on land caused the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere to drop drastically. As a result, the entire Earth entered an ice age, and the species that could not tolerate this cold became extinct. Meanwhile, some scientists believe that at that time, our Earth was volcanically very active. This mass extinction was triggered by a major volcanic event. Apart from this, there are many other hypotheses about this event. Some say that it was an impact event that could have caused it, like a big asteroid might have collided, which caused the conditions to change. So, some point towards a massive supernova explosion. Climate change and tectonic events are also included in this. But even then, we still don't have any solid evidence to prove them right. But after this, the second wave of this mass extinction comes, which was much more dangerous than the first one. This is called the Hindenburg event, and it is also known as the End Devonian extinction. Because after this, the Devonian period ended, and along with it, almost all the species present on Earth also disappeared. This second wave badly affected all the living creatures and plants thriving in the oceans and on land at that time. The Devonian event happened 369 million years ago, but even about this, we don't know how it started. Scientists in Europe have found a 32-mile-wide impact crater which was formed during this same time period. This suggests that possibly a large meteor strike at that time triggered this mass extinction. Meanwhile, a group of researchers also claims that this was not an extinction event, but rather a period when life continuously died a natural death. And at that time, due to the slow rate of evolution, more species could not emerge in biodiversity, or maybe that period was simply not favorable for new species. This extinction also passed. The Earth once again became lifeless. For many millions of years, those who survived this great catastrophe remained just like that. This was the perfect time for them to grow. Slowly, many peaks rose, and species that had survived during this time began to emerge. They carried life forward. But for evolution, this new Earth had only a few million years. This time also passed quickly, and about 252 million years ago from today, this Earth faced the most brutal mass extinction. This was truly the most terrifying. It wiped out almost every living thing on Earth. Some scientists believe that about 96% of species living in the ocean went extinct. About 70% of land-dwelling animals were killed in this extinction. During the Permian period, most organisms became extinct due to this event, and that's why this extinction event is also known by another name in scientific literature. Besides this, the plants and trees on the surface also disappeared. Many types of animals became completely extinct. We still find their fossils under the earth in this way. At this time, the Earth's super. The continent, Pangaea, had also started breaking up into different continents. And at that time, amphibians, early reptiles, and giant flying insects used to rule the land. We still don't know exactly why the Permian-Triassic event happened. The species that died in this event are buried so deep underground, and because of the breaking up of the continents, they are so scattered that it's very difficult to find out anything accurately. Research shows that this event lasted for about 1 million years, and during this time, scientists found many such things. They found many such changes that could wipe out species on a large scale, but even then, we haven't been able to pinpoint any precise cause. There was a major carbon isotope shift in Earth's atmosphere. There were massive volcanic eruptions in the regions of modern China and Siberia. There is also evidence of massive fires in coal beds. Besides this, the increase in the population of tiny microbes changed the environment, and many changes were also seen in metabolic processes. It is believed that one or multiple of these events together completely changed the course of life on Earth, and this event caused great damage to life on Earth. It took life millions of years to recover from this. But in the end, the Earth became inhabited again. Some old and some new creatures started living on this Earth again. And just like that, this great destruction was also recorded in history forever. But the history recorded in the layers of the Earth is not limited to just this. Our Earth has witnessed 5 major mass extinctions, where life almost reached the brink of extinction, but evolution never looks back. After every extinction event, there was nothing. Species kept getting the chance to move forward, and the cycle of life on Earth continued. About 200 million years ago, the 4th major mass extinction happened on this Earth. After the Triassic period, large reptiles like crocodiles, also known as archosaurs, appeared. They were dominating the food chain. This Triassic extinction was not a single event, but rather happened over a long time scale of 18 million years. There were some small events. Because of them, almost half of the population present on Earth at that time was wiped out. Only after the extinction of Archosaurus did dinosaurs get the chance to evolve in the Jurassic period. Those who survived this catastrophe evolved further and became dinosaurs. And some began to fly in the sky as birds. Now the cycle of life had started running on this Earth 24 hours a day. Some hunted in the daylight, while others arranged food for themselves by ambushing at night. By this time, life on Earth had become a complex process. Although there could be several reasons behind the Triassic extinction, it could be the volcanic activity happening on Earth at that time. The same volcanic activities had also reached underwater. Because of massive volcanic eruptions, large amounts of sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide had reached the atmosphere. This completely affected the global climate. The volcanic activities and the climate change triggered by them proved to be utterly destructive for life on Earth. Sea levels changed and the salty water of the ocean became acidic, making survival almost impossible. Apart from this, the cosmic impact theory is also here. But we often hear that it's possible a meteor might have collided with the Earth, because of which this mass extinction happened. Apart from this, some scientists also believe that maybe there wasn't any major impact during this mass extinction. And no, there wasn't any such natural disaster, and it's possible that just like the Devonian extinction, this time too, the Earth's but evolution and life couldn't grow as fast as the rate at which living beings were dying due to natural causes. Or would it be more accurate to say that their death rate had become higher than their birth rate? And because of this, maybe this mass extinction became so severe, but this extinction wasn't something very big for life itself. It didn't bring a major setback. Because after this, the largest land animals ever to rule the Earth were about to appear. Yes, after this great extinction in the Jurassic period, dinosaurs established their rule over the Earth. In the water, some of the largest aquatic creatures ruled. In the sky, birds at the top of the food chain were circling like harbingers of death, and terror had spread over life. This is the Jurassic period, which most of us are familiar with. But the end of this world was inevitable too. Different species of dinosaurs ruled this Earth for about 50 to 100 million years in their time, but when the end of this reign approached, evolution was at its peak. This era of the Earth is called the Cretaceous period, and this extinction is also known as the Cretaceous Tertiary Mass Extinction or the KT Mass Extinction. By this time, life and diversity on Earth had completely given the planet a new form. But here, unlike the other extinction events, we know precisely when and how this extinction actually began. About 65 million years ago, a 10-kilometer wide asteroid collided with the Earth. A golden and peaceful day was suddenly filled with flames, fire raining from the sky, and bodies lying on the ground. On that single day, about 80% of the dinosaurs became victims of extinction. The remaining species also disappeared from the Earth forever. Estimates suggest that because of that mass extinction, about 75% of the population living on Earth was wiped out. The evidence of this mass extinction still exists today near the Chicxulub crater in Mexico. Some species became extinct due to the climate change that followed this event. After this impact, there was devastation all over the Earth. It kept flying for hundreds of years to come. Because sunlight couldn't reach the Earth, an ice age came, but the creatures that were small and could withstand the cold survived. Only those who learned to survive with less food and less oxygen made it. Generations saw the rising sun on this Earth, and once again, species flooded the Earth, playing the game of life and death. And evolution did its job perfectly. Those creatures who once hid in burrows to save their lives, some of them now rule the Earth and are smiling while watching this video, and some have worry lines on their foreheads. Indeed, this journey of life was truly full of ups and downs. Truly, we are indebted to our ancestors, but how long will this journey of life last this time, and when will it end? Well, these things make us think. Friends, what are your thoughts? Be sure to tell us in the comment section about this topic. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and definitely share it with your friends.